Through the Gates is produced under the support of the Coloradans for Responsible Wildlife Management to enhance, promote, and defend the North American model of wildlife conservation and responsible wildlife management. That's our mission. We're engaged in fighting at every level so that wildlife management remains science-based and conservation continues to work for our wildlife. To learn more and join the movement, visit SaveTheHuntColorado.com. The North American model of wildlife conservation is the greatest conservation model in the world. It's a success story that should be shared and celebrated because everybody is a part of it.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Through the Gates podcast. Got a quick introduction for this week's episode. A few weeks ago, Dan was able to travel out to Spencer, Iowa for the Furtakers of America Convention. Most of you know Dan as the executive director of the Coloradans for Responsible Wildlife Management and host of this podcast, Through the Gates. You might not know, though, that he's also on the board of the Colorado Trappers and Predators Hunters Association. They just wrapped up, along with CRWM, the Outdoorsman Days event here in Colorado. But a couple weeks ago back in Iowa, Dan was able to have a quick conversation with a couple folks, a couple stars of the show Mountain Men, as well as one of the wildlife officers out there in Iowa. So we'll bounce it around between guests, and here's Dan from Spencer, Iowa, and the Furtakers of America Convention.
So we're here for a special edition of Through the Gates podcast. And I'm here at the Furtakers of America Convention in Spencer, Iowa. And look who I ran into.
Hey, it's Paul Antczak here from the TV show Mountain Men.
So what are you doing in Spencer?
Well, I was invited to come out here and help promote the show and draw people in and all that, you know, being on the Mountain Men show. And, you know, that kind of helps things out and bring people in. Yeah.
So you're from Montana?
Yeah, well, not originally. I'm originally born and raised in Wisconsin. Moved down to East Tennessee and then ended up out in Montana about 8 years ago.
And so trapping and predator hunting in Montana compared to the eastern part of the country is a little bit different.
It's a completely different game. Completely different game. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Do you have to deal with wolves in Montana?
Oh, yeah. I'm a wolf trapper.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm a wolf trapper.
So speaking from what Colorado has gone through at this point in time, the reintroduction of wolves through a ballot initiative and the trials and tribulations, I mean, trying to be politically correct, but at the same time, what do you think Colorado has to work with over the course of the next 3 to 5 years preparing for the wolf introduction, even though we have wolves on the ground now?
No, man, first of all, you want me to be politically correct?
Yeah.
Do you really?
That's the hardest thing.
Yeah, it was a really bad move for them to do that. It really was. First of all, I mean, why would you bring something in like that? You know what I mean? Why they're going to eventually come there. They got a long road ahead of them. They already can't really foothold trap unless you're a control operator out there. It's how you're going to throw wolves into the mix. From what I understand, they don't really have a plan if they do get overpopulated or whatever. They need to come up with a plan like immediately. Just look at your neighboring states, you know, look at Montana and Idaho, what we're dealing with, you know. Yeah.
So what you've seen on the big game populations in northwestern Montana, is it significantly different than what it previously was, or is it kind of different, and is it getting worse?
There's a huge difference. Even the 8 years that I've been there, I'm seeing a lot less moose. And when they do have calves, you know, the cow will show up with a calf, and then 2 weeks later she'll show up without her calf. You know, so they're losing their calves. The elk are losing their calves. You know, not just from the predation, but from the stress of being around the wolves. You know, I mean, they'll abort. You know, a whitetail population down, the mule deer population is taking a huge hit. You know, and I'm up there in Region 1. You know, we got the most wolves concentrated in the state in that region up there. I mean, they come right in my yard. You know.
Do you think that the Montana Game and Fish Department up there, have they done as good of a job as what they could, given the federal component that is like the nexus that's put into that?
I think they could have done a lot more earlier, you know what I'm saying? But now with Malloy, you know, coming out with his ruling, you know, knocking 30 days off of our season in the front and 30 days off the back of our season, that really kind of hamstrung us, you know, as far as that goes. I know they're trying to go ahead and give us a few things this year in the commission meetings and all of that through the commissions, but basically what they're doing, I see, is taking the pacifier out of the animal activists and sticking it into the mouth of the sportsman right about now. What they really need to do is open up that season earlier. Heck, we can't start wolf trapping until January 1st, and we can shut down February 15th, and that just gives us 45 days to get the job done. Our wolves up there, they're on a 250 square mile home range, so it might not be 45, 60 days before they come back through, so I have one pack that I didn't even get an opportunity to trap, 2 years ago. So what really needs to be done is something in order for us to keep our incidental wolves caught in coyote traps. Now, where I coyote trap, I go 7 hours east where there's no wolves. I can't even coyote trap around my house where I'll probably catch a wolf in it, and then I gotta go ahead and release that wolf. And why would you go ahead and release the criminal when you got it caught? Type of thing, So if they could open that up, where at least keep our incidental catches, on wolves, that would really, really change everything. They're going to give us 15 wolves now trapping and 15 hunting. That does us nothing. They could give us 100 each. We're not going to catch them wolves just because of the time of year they give us to trap them.
So when you look at, you're close to the Canadian border.
Yeah.
So wolves don't know the difference between Canada and the United States.
No, not a bit.
Trying to manage something that's that close to an international border, is there challenges that maybe the agency up there or maybe even the trappers and landowners have to deal with?
I'm not that close to the border, you know what I mean? But I'm not too sure about that.
Yeah. Because I know people talk about, what Wyoming does, what Utah could do, and Colorado's restrictions or prohibitions. And we've had wolves that have come into Colorado that were introduced, and then turned around and took a collar, went to Wyoming, and then got shot for creating damage.
Right.
It has to be something similar that you might get wolves that weren't ever introduced into Montana, but they're coming across the border and vice versa.
Oh, yeah. The wolves are coming back and forth. When they turn 3 years old, they go into, they just start dispersing, So, there's wolves always, new fresh wolves coming in and out all the time, when they hit that 3-year-old mark. Unlike a coyote disperses when they, turn 6-8 months old. Mm-hmm. Wolves are 3 years old when they just turn 3. They'll disperse.
For people in Colorado that voted for wolf introduction, that don't know anything about wolves, but they thought it would have been a cool deal to see wolves or hear wolves, what would be some of the things that you would mention to people that don't know as much about science-based wildlife management, taking it into their hands just by checking a box for ballot-box biology?
Oh, man. You should have paid attention to your neighbors, is what I want to stress. You know what I'm saying? You really should have listened to your neighbors, It's like any other dog that's not leashed up. You're not going to be able to keep your dog in your yard, So now you're going to have a problem. You're going to have a problem. It's going to be hard to deal with because you don't have the means to take care of the problem. For the average rancher to take care of the problem,
It's not that you're 100% anti-wolf.
Oh no, absolutely not.
Yeah, I want to emphasize that.
What I want,
you're a sportsman.
Yeah, correct. I want balance. Yeah. That's the only thing I want. Actually, I moved out to Montana to be amongst them wolves, But I didn't realize just how thick they were, And if anything, a good trapper, a good hunter wants is balance, I want to see a good, healthy mule deer population, just as I want to see a wolf population. You hear the garbage out there, the shoot, shovel, shut up, and and all that. That's junk. Guys that are saying that, they need to really relook at their mindset on it, because we do have a season. We do need wolves on the landscape. We just need them balanced. That's all it is. We just want balance.
One of the things we've said in Colorado and over is we don't want to pedestalize anything, we don't want to bastardize anything, and we don't want to marginalize anything.
Right.
And I think that the way that some of these introductions have happened, and the management, whether it's in the upper states in the northern United States or in Colorado, taking into consideration all of the species and trying to manage the species connected to each other is imperative.
Correct. Here's the thing. Okay, like where I'm at in Montana, we got mountain lions. Okay, we have black bear, we have grizzly bear, we have wolves, we have coyotes, we have lynx. We got a great lynx population. We got bobcats. All of those species, they kill fawns. Okay, so it's not just the wolves eating. It's all those other ones. You got to take into consideration those animals are hungry too. So
Everything has to eat.
Everything's got to eat, and us. You know what I mean? I live off of venison, and I'd love to kill an elk one day. I haven't killed an elk yet.
You haven't killed it?
No, I haven't.
Living in Montana, you haven't.
Well, I've only lived there 8 years.
Yeah.
And
Well, you'd been skinny as hell if you just rely on the elk.
yeah. But I predator hunt. My passion is predator hunting. Trapping. You know what I mean? And so that's where my passion is. So when it's good trapping, it's also good, elk hunting. Or I'm getting ready to. I also do the Trappers College. So for the
Furtakers.
Yeah. And so I'm gone right during the elk rut. You know what I mean? So as soon as they start bugling, I'm headed east to go to Iowa or Indiana.
Are you associated with the Foundation for Wildlife Management?
Oh, yes, sir. I certainly am.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. Justin Webb, that whole association. If it wasn't for them, we would be hard pressed getting done what we get done. The way I run my trap line is like a business. I have a set amount of money, a budget for fuel, and materials or tools and everything else. And so when I run out of money, especially for fuel, I'm done. I can't trap no more. You know what I mean? So with the Foundation for Wildlife Management, I catch that wolf or second wolf or whatever. I send that in. They write me a check. I can keep going. And that's what's great about it. It's not a bounty. People say it's a bounty. It's a reimbursement. They're reimbursing us for our expenses.
For what you've had to deal with and knowing the trials and tribulations of the game agency and the management that goes into that, and like I say, the political agendas or the mentalities, what would you say to Colorado sportsmen when it comes to trying to facilitate a conversation about getting their point across and trying to do it politically correct, but also reasonably and ethically and morally, trying to do it for the science of all wildlife?
Yeah, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. If you're going to sit at home and play on your Facebook and argue and yell on Facebook, it's going to get you nowhere. You got to go to wherever your capital is, talk to your legislators, talk to your commissioners. You got to be a voice. You got to be a voice. You know what I mean? You got to be louder than what the animal activists are. But not with anger. Don't do it with anger. They're going to close their ears. They're going to not listen to you. You got to do it with common sense and kindness in your heart when you talk to them.
When you talk to the general public, and you're a public figure, what you do on television with your shows and stuff, when you talk to the general public, do you see an opportunity to move the needle for people that are uneducated, but they're trying to find out what's right? Yeah. You see that opportunity?
I got a great story about this. Okay. So there's a lady, Heidi, her name is. She moved from California, up into Montana, up around Eureka, and she just told me the other day she was a flaming animal activist. She was the person that carried the sign in the streets of LA, squirted ketchup on people. The whole deal on their fur coats and stuff like that. She was that lady. And she watched the Mountain Men show. And then she's seen some episodes about wolves, and actually one of my episodes about wolf trapping and stuff like that. And it changed her mind. And now she comes to my events and stuff like that. I'm having a Wolf Trappers Rendezvous, and Tom Orr will be there, and different, celebrities from the show and all that. And she traps and hunts herself.
Really?
Now, yeah. Well, she's wanting to get in the trap. She bear hunts right now. But it's just amazing how a TV show like that, the Mountain Men show, nobody would ever think of it, would change the mind of an extreme animal activist. So
when all they hear is one side,
correct,
it's easy to deceive and lie to people.
Correct.
And when you try to give the facts and try to give the elements of the science-based wildlife management that we try to do in Colorado and around the Western United States for the most part, trying to get that point across to uneducated people, it's pleasing to see when they actually turn the corner and realize it's not just you and I and somebody else talking about it. It's the fact that it's the model. It's the North American model of wildlife conservation, and it encompasses all states and all wildlife and all methods of take.
Correct.
And trying to get people to understand that we're not doing it for just us.
Right.
We're doing it for all of us,
That's right.
whether you're an animal activist or not.
That's
just
right.
We have different ideologies.
That's right. Yeah, with her, like, common sense prevailed.
Good.
Yeah. And I see a lot of that, really.
If people want to turn around and follow you or get more information about you or your show, where do they go?
I have a YouTube. It's Montana Wolf Trapper on YouTube. And then also on Facebook, which is Paul Antczak with the blue check.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the Mountain Man series is when?
Mountain Man's going to be airing sometime in September. I can't give out the date yet.
Okay.
And it'll be season 14. And from what I understand, I know Bret and Ivy is here too. And I just from what I understand, this is going to be the best season on the Mountain Man Series so far.
And what channel is that on?
History Channel.
History Channel.
Yeah. And then, honestly, I think everybody's a trapper on there now. Brett and Ivy are trappers. You got Laurel, he's a trapper. Tom Orr, he's a trapper. I'm a trapper. Jake does a little trapping, he's a hound hunter. Marty's on there, he's a trapper. Mike Horseman's a trapper. There's a new character coming on, and he's a trapper. So there's a lot of trappers on the show.
It's good representation.
Absolutely. Yeah.
If anybody wanted to get involved in trapping or hunting, period, and didn't have any knowledge about anything, what would be your first level of advice to say this is where you should go to get started?
Yeah, if you're going to get started trapping, which I encourage everybody to, I would go ahead and get a hold of your state trapping organization and then join one of these national organizations, the NTA or the FTA. And then if you're new into it, go to the Trappers College, over there in Indiana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Paul, we thank you very much for your
I appreciate
wish
it.
you the best and look forward to working with you.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
If you want to support a company that supported the efforts to defeat Proposition 127, then you need to support Davis Tent. Davis Tent has provided quality canvas goods for outdoorsmen for the last 50 plus years. For more information, go to davistent.com.
I'm Conservation Officer Katherine Hoeppner with the Iowa DNR. I've been serving the state since 2019, but I've been in this role since September of 2024.
So what got you into conservation?
I grew up on a farm, grew up hunting, fishing, enjoying the outdoors. I do a lot of hiking and I travel with my dad. That really inspired me to be a conservation officer.
How many conservation officers does the state of Iowa have?
Currently, we have approximately 75 officers covering 99 counties.
And how many of those are female?
I think there's about 5 females right now. I'm one of the youngest, so most of our females are closer to retirement, about 5 to 10 years out.
And when you went to what, 4 to 8 years of college or whatever?
Yep. So I did 4 years. I went to Iowa State University, but I also went for a semester to Montana State University to see some different country. My background is primarily in biology, so animal ecology, environmental science, but I also have my degrees in criminal justice. So,
from a wildlife conservation management perspective, do you see that today's citizens, whether they hunt or not, are they interested and educated about conservation issues?
I think that there's starting to be more of a push to get outdoors. A lot of kids with a lot of screen time, and parents are starting to see the effects of that and starting to want to get back outside. COVID also brought people to the outdoors. I started as a park ranger, actually, and we noticed a huge uptick in users during that time when things were closed down. And I think that mentality has remained despite COVID kind of starting to fade away a little bit. And we've been seeing more people getting outside fishing.
And you actually hunt and fish yourself?
I do. I hunt and fish. I really enjoy it.
You get a smile on your face when you talk about it.
I just got back from a walleye fishing trip in Michigan. It was super fun. Really enjoyed it. Something I'd never tried before, and I was happy to learn. So
what's your favorite thing to hunt?
I love to hunt deer. I really like to bow hunt. That's probably about my favorite time to go. I like to see them in their natural state, and during the rut, there's no other feeling like it.
So how does a conservation officer in the state of Iowa deal with hunting season when you like to hunt yourself?
Yep. So we got to be a little bit better about time management. It seems like we're on call 24/7 for stuff. So you just got to be aware of that. We carry our phones on us most of the time, even in our off time. But you can schedule yourself in Iowa. So we typically hunt during the week and then we're working the weekends. But it just kind of depends by county, typically what the need is. And we just try to fill that need the best we can. During the gun seasons though, gun 1 and gun 2 will be out pretty much every day. So
do you allow high-powered rifles?
We do.
You do?
Yep.
Statewide, or is it just specific sections?
It's statewide. There's different states or different, sorry,
yeah,
for a second.
You're good.
We do allow high-powered rifles. There's different restrictions on what you can use during what season. Gun 1 and gun 2, there's caliber size restrictions, but there's different parts of the state where you can use different stuff for specialty management type deals. So,
do you like to hunt with a rifle or a bow or what?
I prefer a bow, but nothing against the rifle hunters either. So shotguns are also super popular here.
So you had mentioned earlier in our conversation that you have law enforcement authority on a variety of different things throughout the state.
Yep. So we're state peace officers. So our primary function is the fish, game, and navigation enforcement. But we are also authorized to do traffic and that kind of thing if we come across it. I've had a variety of cases. So we've even had criminal cases. I've had theft in state parks and things like that we've handled. So.
What's the wolf behind you?
So, yep, this wolf was actually killed in Story County. It was mistaken for a coyote. We do not have a breeding population here in Iowa. It was one that was more than likely just passing through. But you can see the size difference between that wolf and the coyote. So we just want to make sure people are identifying their target properly and being mindful of what they're shooting.
Have you ever seen one yourself?
I have not.
No?
Nope.
You get reports of different types of wildlife, whether it's mountain lions or bears or wolves all the time?
Yep. So my county is in the Loess Hills. I actually have two counties, but one of them, Monona County, covers a big portion of that Loess Hill area. And we get quite a few mountain lion reports. Some of them unfounded, some of them have been founded. It just depends kind of. A lot of people will mistake a dog print for a cat print. Obviously the cats have retractable claws, so that's one way you can tell. But we did have a mountain lion, I believe in 2022, that was found in Monona County. So,
have you ever done any trapping?
I am actually not very experienced in trapping.
No?
So that's one thing I'd really like to get into. There's an officer to the north of me, does quite a bit of trapping, and he's really ignited the spark in me to give it a go, and he is very passionate about it.
Well, you're at the perfect place here at the Furtakers of America Convention.
Absolutely. And I'm hoping to attend the college one day.
Yeah?
So, yep.
Well, that's good because we both sit on the board of directors, so maybe we could turn around.
I would love that.
Good plug in for you.
Yep.
So if you had an opportunity to work anywhere in the country, I mean, just because you were queen for a day or you got a chance to turn around and do as you see fit, what state intrigues you from something that you think that you'd enjoy doing without being in Iowa? If you
I got to pick somewhere other than Iowa.
Yeah, if you couldn't be in Iowa, because it's more of a he said she said woulda coulda kind of game.
Yep. So I actually did a semester at Montana State University in Bozeman, and I fell in love with Montana. There were some reasons that I moved back to Iowa. This is where I grew up and where my family farm is, so that's very important to me. And I did come back to Iowa, and I'm happy here. But if I had to pick one place, I'd go back to Livingston, Montana in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
The elk, everything they have out there, it's amazing. So.
How do you wear what you wear in the humidity in Iowa and be comfortable and have a smile on your face?
Honestly, I'm conditioned to it. I work out a lot in my off time. That keeps you fit. Staying fit's really important for this role. We do a lot of walking, a lot of hiking, hot days, cold days, all the above. So I don't even feel it anymore. I just kind of work out. I use a weighted vest when I walk and the treadmill and that kind of thing. So I've been conditioned to do it. So
it's a little bit more comfortable probably in Bozeman from a humidity standpoint.
Yes, it is, but it is windy. So that is one of the things that you got to look out for. In Livingston, it'll about knock you off your feet.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you do any extracurricular activities when you were in Bozeman? Did you hunt or did you fish or anything?
I did. I actually got in with a guide. He was an elk guide, but he also wanted to go wolf hunting. And so got a tag, went out, we tried. We didn't have any success, but that was a really good experience, man. We were post-holing through the snow uphill both ways, it seemed like, and It was deep. It was probably thigh deep, and I will never forget it. It was a great experience. But I actually got into a couple of the ranches around there were really friendly and welcoming. I'm a horsewoman, so I was able to help with the branding, and that was a great experience.
Yeah. So if you had any piece of advice that you would give somebody, whether they're young or middle age or older, maybe it's an older person who wants to get kids in the outdoors or kids that are just interested in the outdoors, what would you recommend that they do to start maybe getting an education on hunting? Would it be to find a mentor? Would it be to go to a specific class? Or what would you say? Yeah,
finding a mentor can be really helpful. We have mentorship programs here in Iowa where we can take people hunting and fishing that have never been before. There's a lot of different varieties of ways you can get into it like that. But honestly, the best thing to do is just go out and try it. Try everything. You're not going to like everything, but you might find your fit. So I went out and tried walleye fishing, really enjoyed it. I'd always grown up bass fishing, but finding that new vessel for being outside for me has been really game changing. So,
any pieces of advice for current hunters, sportsmen and women in the state of Iowa about things that you see that maybe people aren't fully aware of or that you see problems with that you think that maybe people need to pay a little bit closer attention to?
I wouldn't necessarily say any one thing in particular, but one thing that I see a lot of is make sure your kids get outside. I would encourage you to take children and bring them along with you for that experience, because we need that next generation to be excited and enthusiastic about the outdoors. And that's one of the ways that you can do it, is showing them how. So
that's cool. Any places you'd like to try to go hunt in the future?
All of them.
Anywhere.
Anywhere, yeah, yep. I've been in Tacoma, New Mexico on a black bear hunt, and I really enjoyed that. I'd love to go back someday for an elk hunt in New Mexico. Colorado, Idaho are all on my list, so I'm pretty open-minded to it. But
Well, maybe we can work something out in Colorado.
yeah, that would be amazing.
We got a troop of women out there that are great conservationists and supporters of our cause, and maybe we put you in touch with each other, because I know that they're always looking for things to do in other states.
That would be great. Yep, I would love that. So networking is huge. That helps keep you outside. Find other people that maybe know something more than you do, like a mentor, and go with them. And you can teach each other something. So,
any aspirations of what you want to do further down the road? You want to stay in the position you're at? You see yourself excelling and running up the ladder, or you want to be any sort of a specific task at hand that you'd like to accomplish?
I'm really happy in the field. I'm hoping to inspire more young women to get into this role. Doesn't seem like there's very many of us, and I want to change that. So I'd like to help. And one of the ways I do that is Outdoor Journey for Girls. It's a hunter education program where we do 11 to 15-year-old girls get their hunter ed certificate over the course of 3 days. And we teach them about game care and fishing. And I've been involved in that since I was 19, since before I started on the department. And I think that really helped get me where I am today. So
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Very much so. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. I know that it's hot out here, and I know that you guys have a lot of people to talk to. Are you going to be here tomorrow too?
I will not.
So you got somebody else taking your place on the busy day on Saturday.
Yeah, we're switching some shifts. So
Good.
Yep.
Good. Well, we exchange business cards. Reach out if you need to, and I really appreciate the time.
Thank you, sir. Reach out anytime.
Thank you. If you want to support another business that was instrumental in helping us defeat Proposition 127, check out Salida Gun Shop. Salida Gun Shop in Salida, Colorado provides quality products, expertise, and knowledge from individuals that actually do what they sell. Go to salidagunshop.com. Listen to the advice of Cameron Haynes and support companies that are supporting your cause and your efforts. Minturn Anglers is one of those companies. Minturn Anglers provides product and fishing excursions in Colorado and are second to none. For more information, go to minturnanglers.com.
Hi, I'm Ivy O'Gwyn, and this is Bret Bohn, and we're here at the Furtakers of America show as our business, BBB Alaska. We're big game outfitters and trappers. And we're also on History Channel show Mountain Men. So they invited us here, and we're having a blast getting to meet everybody and share our love for trapping.
You guys are out of Alaska.
Yeah, Bret and I both are born and raised Alaskans, and that's where we're still living off grid today.
So you're from Alaska. What part?
So I was born and raised in Anchorage, and Ivy was born in Sonotan, Alaska.
And how long have you been doing what you're doing as far as the business side?
The business side, I've been in the guide industry for over 15 years, and been running BBB Alaska now for a little over 10 years.
And how long have you been on the History Channel?
We've been on the History Channel the last 2 seasons, season 12 and season 13, and this fall be sometime in September. Can't release the date yet, but that'll be season 14. So this would be our 3rd season on the Mountain Men coming up.
So husband and wife couple?
Husband and wife couple. We got married last year.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Thank you.
It's been a lot of fun.
And so did you do any of this before you got together?
Kind of, sort of. I grew up a subsistence lifestyle, but more on the fishing side. So I grew up commercial fishing and then dabbled in the winter times with taxidermy and a lot of skinning and fleshing of hides and skull cleaning. So when I met Bret, I got to kind of do the full circle thing and see how trap lines were, how they go start to finish, and implement my skills. So it was meant to be.
So who's the better trapper?
Yeah.
Bret's the better trapper. Bret's a professional, but I'm skipping the beginning stages of education. I'm jumping straight up to professional.
You have a good teacher.
I have a great teacher.
Yeah.
I get to streamline my education.
Yeah.
So for what you guys do for a couple, do you find that some of the clients that you get on the business side come up and are well educated about wildlife management, or somewhat educated, or are they just novices?
I'd say somewhat educated. We get a lot of outdoorsmen, a lot of hunters from different states, and I feel like people that are interested in trapping, and especially coming up to experience an Alaska trap line, realize it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and they've done a lot of their own education within their own state. A lot of it is, especially with trapping, they don't have the opportunities to trap in their own states, as Alaska kind of has a lot more freedom, so they wanted to come and experience that.
True Alaskan experience, it's like a once in a lifetime, opportunity to come up and experience, Alaska trap line. So
Has the experience with the Mountain Men series kind of open your eyes about trying to get an education out to the general public that it's not just entertainment, it's infotainment, so to speak?
Yeah, no, I've been doing it well before, the Mountain Men show, introducing people to trapping and taking people out, trapping and experiencing, trying to get the word out how important trapping is to, wildlife management and stuff. But no, I mean, what we do on the show, it's, similar to what we do, when we take you out. So you get to experience the real deal there.
What's special about having the opportunity to be on a show that gets such national attention is that there's kind of more of a responsibility to educate the nations and really the world, because there's a lot of international viewers too about trapping and sustainable trapping, especially with predator control. And so we have that opportunity to share our knowledge and our passions along with how we're protecting our land and, our hunting areas. So there is that need or passion for us to share good and positive information on that.
What do you think some of the challenges are when you're talking about dealing with the uneducated, not stupid, but uneducated general public, to try to get them to understand the importance of it?
I think I always try to lead with just being my true self and being kind and just spread that sort of knowledge from your heart. I think the media makes it really easy to spread hate and kind of burn down hunters and outdoorsmen that are showing our lifestyle of trapping fur and hunting bears and all the things that a lot of people don't agree with, or because they're not educated on predator control. And especially for Alaska, we're very blessed right now to have really high numbers in all of those, in most of our populations. So we've been raised since we were little to protect our ungulates and protect a lot of our bird species, and that falls hand in hand with predator control. So there's a passion behind that to go out and do our due diligence. If we're going to live off grid and live in the area and we're going to be hunters and bring clients out, we also need to be predator hunters as well.
That the Alaskan resident population that gets a chance to hunt or trap, do you think that they're aware of the fragility or the volatility of the landscape, or people not agreeing with our way of life that maybe want to turn around and try to take it away? Do they realize that it's not just in the lower 48, that it's coming to Alaska too?
I don't think everybody's as aware that it's at our doorstep. I think that they've been starting to hear it, but it's hard when you live in Alaska because you feel really separated too. In a lot of ways, we're very kind of far still from the continental U.S., so it's easy to be blind to what's going on down in the lower 48, and that directly affects the next bills and potential laws that could be at the doorstep for Alaska too.
What's your favorite thing to pursue when it comes to trapping?
Well, we primarily do marten, so we go out and set for marten. But favorite thing, I would say, probably wolves. We love trapping wolves, and they're the major. They kill a lot of moose in the wintertime. Between that and the bears in the spring killing the moose calves. So wolves. We try to target wolves and marten, but I mean it's all favorites.
All of it's
we
fun, and it's
absolutely love trapping. Actually, absolutely love sharing. Trapping and why it's important to trapping to others and have them experience that. And I'm a board member on the South Central chapter of the Alaska Trapping Association, so we got some stuff down here and trying to sign up members to join the Alaska Trapping Association and just promote it.
What's your favorite thing to hunt?
Favorite thing to hunt, it varies whatever I'm hunting, but I love spring brown bear on snow machine. So yeah, it's fun. So you get to see a lot of Alaska and hunt down those predators that kill all those moose calves there in the spring there in May when the babies start popping out for moose calves and stuff.
What's your favorite thing to hunt?
Oh man, I don't know anymore.
Yeah, you just like to hunt.
I like to hunt. Yeah, I like to put meat in the freezer. So I love to moose hunt, caribou hunt, and all those things. Black-tailed deer.
So would your lifestyle outside of the Mountain Man series, men series, would your lifestyle kind of be considered sustain or subsistence? Would it be something along that line?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, say. I mean, we're self-sufficient. Trap hunt.
Fish.
eat fish year round. So just keeping a balance and, living off the land.
How hard is it for you to get the lower 48? People might ask, you say you're living off grid and what you do and stuff. It's
Yeah.
not like you got a packed burro and a bunch
Yeah.
of dog sleds to get to an airport or anything. But
Yeah.
No, but it is a lot of driving. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of driving.
commuting.
Yeah, but it's 2025 and we're over 100 years now with aircraft. So we use the commercial airlines to get down to the lower 48.
do you guys do float planes or bush planes at all?
Yep. To get to, yep.
Yeah, a lot of bush planes, float planes, wheel planes to get out to the hunting areas. And an airplane in Alaska is like a pickup truck down here in the lower 48. So there's a lot of airplanes.
And then snow machine to where we are in the wintertime too. Yeah.
So you live in a place, you got generators?
Yeah.
Yep.
And solar.
Yep.
We've got generators and solar, so we're pretty self-efficient. We've got a natural spring nearby, so we're blessed with good, clean water that's year-round.
Yep.
So we've
Starlink?
Starlink now. Yeah.
Using all the technologies.
That was a game changer, though. You keep in touch with family and stuff. It's hard to be disconnected for a long time.
Yeah,
So
especially in today's environment. But
Yeah.
there's so much available to us that we often don't take advantage of.
yeah.
Exactly.
If you had a piece of advice, either one of you, I'll start with you first. If you had a piece of advice to give to somebody that wanted to get into hunting or fishing or trapping in some regard, they're enamored with this. They're watching the show. They want to participate. They want to get involved. What would be your first piece of advice that you would give them to say where to start?
Yeah. If you want to start getting in the outdoors, especially hunting and fishing and trapping, my piece of advice is time is short and you're never too old or too young to start. And to find a mentor that you really trust. I think that's the hardest part. If you didn't grow up with someone to help you get into it, find someone that's doing it that you trust and that you can follow along and learn ethically how to get into stuff and get off on the right foot. And then just take off with your passion.
That's a very, very good answer. What about you?
Well, I would start out with for trapping. I would join your local state trapping association, and join. SCI is a great one in the hunting community. Just join the associations, and they'll lead you in the right direction to find a mentor and where you need to be, and educational workshops, and educate before you start diving into a new hobby. And life's short. Go out and do it if you have a passion for
It
it.
sounds like in your guys' case, maybe find somebody and marry them, and then you can turn around and figure out who you want to be in life.
Yeah. So,
That was my idea. No.
Yeah. We teamed up. We talked about that. So yeah.
How long have you guys known each other?
4 years now. Yep.
Yeah.
4 years now.
And no family in mind yet?
Not yet.
No.
If it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that something that, for people that don't know, would that be something that you could sustain in the lifestyle that you're living right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd take the responsibility of homeschooling and a lot of education, but I think growing up in the outdoors, even as a little kid, is the best opportunity you could give any young child right now. How the world
And they'll
is.
survive, supply for themselves,
Yeah.
an understanding of how things work.
Yep. Getting to be creative, learning how to be creative as a kid. Yeah. That's
Something
huge.
that's been taken away.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So
Yep.
does either one of your families live this sort of a lifestyle, or that comes from this sort of a background?
Yeah, I grew up. I was homeschooled K through 5th, and I grew up out in the bush. My first part of life, and then my dad had a background. Actually, he was born in Colorado and came up in the '60s to Alaska, he got it from my dad and kind of turned it into a career. So I had the trapping and hunting background, and I even dabbled in sport fish guiding. And then when I met Ivy here, commercial fisherwoman, so we just kind of combined forces.
Yes. My mom's side of the family, my mom's side's Alaska Native, so born and raised in the village, and so that's where I grew up. Spent a lot of my summers commercial fishing with the women in my family. And then my dad, he comes from an old sourdough line of gold miners and trappers, and now he works in oil fields. So we grew up with a subsistence, mostly fishing lifestyle, but yeah, I was very blessed.
If somebody wants to come and see you guys in your private business, where do they go?
So you can go to my website's bbalaska.com. I also have an Instagram, bbbalaskan, and Ivy has
My Instagram is IVO, and we have kind of a YouTube too that you can check out, and it's IVO Alaska.
Okay. And then if they want to see the Mountain Men series, that's coming up again this year. And if they want to look at anything from back issues, I mean, is there another thing that
it's gonna air on the History Channel, and you can find it on the History Channel, also Sling TV, and I believe Amazon Prime, I think, will have it, and Hulu will have some older episodes too as well.
Well, I got to commend both of you for doing what you're doing. Young people that are trying to at least promote a message. I know there's a financial gain in it for you to some degree, but to have good representatives and eloquent speaking individuals that have a belief in the lifestyle and the support for science-based wildlife management. I just appreciate you taking the time, getting on here, and hopefully we can build a relationship and try to feed off of each other to promote science-based wildlife management.
Yeah. I'll also add really quick, if you are a lady and you're interested in trapping, I host Women's Alaska Trapping Retreats. So you can check that out on my website, kenailegend.com, or my Instagram, which is WATR, which stands for Women's Alaska Trapping Retreat. But if you're a lady that wants to get in, meet other like-minded women and learn how to trap in skin and flesh, we got those going on every year.
That's cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Have a safe trip home.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
It was nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of Through the Gates. For more content like this, make sure that you like, follow, and subscribe on all of our channels.